police report. I need to get back into my country.
Mr. Half-Rat, you're going to miss your flight.
No.
You'll have to rebook that. You're going to miss your flight.
Oh, hey guys. Hey, I wanted to tell you about an experience I had on September 4th, just a few days ago, at the United States Consulate in Amsterdam, and what it taught me about business and the ability to be a chameleon, to get what you want. And successful people know this secret. Successful millionaires know how to take advantage of this in the workplace, with their clients, around social settings, at the doctor's office, in school. It doesn't matter where or what. You gotta know this secret, because guess what? It's the entitled you owe me people of the world, or yomies as we like to say, that don't understand this secret. And if you understand this secret, you'll be able to get ahead in anything that you do. See, here's the thing. I almost got stuck outside the United States, which would have cost me about $3,000 in extra flight costs, change fees, hotel fees, and other incidentals that would have absolutely sucked. But I was able to prevent that loss by taking advantage of, well, what you're about to learn, by example. So let's rewind a little bit.
My passport's not here. I'll just take my German one.
And unfortunately, after some Googling, I found out that, yeah, I can leave the country without a United States passport by using another country's passport, but I ain't getting back in. So luckily, I made a 9:30 a.m. appointment at the consulate in Amsterdam, 9:30 a.m. on the 4th. My flight started boarding at 2:20 p.m. I thought, hey, 9:30 a.m., 2:20 p.m., plenty of time to get my emergency passport. And see, the consulate is one of those really official places where people's personalities start shining and coming through, and you really start seeing the nature inside of people, who they really are, because you're surrounded by guard dogs, bomb-proof doors and windows and bars. So what I felt I saw was really a social experiment, and one that I felt I could take advantage of to apply the lessons of this social experiment to business, and ultimately life in general, but mostly business, because hey, why not? If you can't apply the lessons you learned to business and make some money, then what good is it? So really, while I was standing at the consulate, there were about 4 personality types that I really came across, and each of them had their own distinct way of going about making requests. And I think it's important to preface this by saying that when you make a request upon somebody else, and you are essentially asking for a favor from that person, and even though it might be their job to fulfill your request, you're technically still at their liberty. So you want to keep that in mind that, hey, wait a minute, they're in control, not you. So watch for a moment the 4 personalities that I saw.
For clarity, this is to get an emergency passport.
We're going to start with the 3 personalities that were not what I took advantage of, and then you'll see me and the personality I took advantage of in this highly produced replica of the U.S. Consulate. The entitled grouch.
I lost my passport, and I need to get back into the country right now. I need to get back in.
Did you file a police report?
No, I didn't file a police report. That's ridiculous. I'm not gonna go file a police report. I need to get back into my country. This is my country. You can't let me out of my country.
Here are the addresses for some local police departments to file a police report.
I think it goes without saying that being a grouch or just being mean doesn't get you very far in life. Yet for some reason, people don't internalize that, so I felt compelled to put it in this video. The authoritative perfectionist.
I am requesting a replacement passport. I have all of my documentation ready in this handy envelope. Please service my passport request an hour before so that I can make my flight. I would like to pick up my replacement passport at 1:30 p.m.
Sorry, no can do. Nothing earlier than 2:30. That's the rule.
These are the kind of people that you usually think win at everything, and you'd be surprised. Most people who end up helping these people out, helping them, or doing favors for them, they end up being the same people who kind of want to stick their leg out and see that authoritative person fall flat on their face, because nobody likes a stuck-up person that's just too perfect and can't live life loosely and appreciate things, or be grateful. Hate to say it, shouldn't be that way. But remember, this isn't a video about how things should be. This is about how humanity is. The Timmy.
I lost my passport and I didn't file a police report.
File a police report.
And this is sort of the personality type that I felt I took advantage of while I was at the consulate. The hopeful klutz.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you?
I lost my passport.
Okay, do you have your printouts?
Here's the paperwork I have.
Sure you have a flight today?
I do. It's at 3:30.
Mr. Paffrath, you're going to miss that flight.
Dang, I really messed up this time. You don't have any good places I can grab a beer or something while I wait for tomorrow to roll around then and get another flight?
Yeah, actually I do. There's this really good place called Charlie's just down the way over here. It's only about 2 blocks that way.
You don't have an accent. You must be from the U.S., right?
Yeah, exactly. Did you fill out the application, Mr. Paffrath?
I'm sorry. I didn't do that.
Don't worry about it. Here's an application for you to fill out. You can do it right here while I finish your paperwork.
Thanks so much, man.
Hey, your passport photo is going to be too large. They might not accept this. Mr. Paffrath, did you file a police report?
No, I didn't file a police report.
All right, well, we're going to leave it up to the discretion of the officer.
What I just showed you there is literally exactly what happened. I didn't have my application. I thought I had everything I needed, and I didn't. I also had no idea that my passport head size had to be a certain size. They took out a very specific template, and they're like, yep, nope, look, it's way too large. We couldn't even cut it out because your ears would be gone. And I didn't file a police report because honestly, I thought it was pretty stupid that I would file a police report for a passport that I'm pretty sure I lost in my house. I think it's up in the attic somewhere. But wait, we're not done yet. I still had to go through the person that was going to officially decide if my application was going to get approved.
Mr. Paffrath?
That's me. Hi.
So you lost your passport.
Absolutely.
And this here's your application. I'm going to have to ask you to raise your right hand, solemnly swear that everything you stated in this form is true and correct.
Heck yeah.
And then I'm going to have to ask you, just go ahead and put your hand down. Mr. Paffrath, I'm going to go ahead and approve your application.
So now it's official. My passport application got approved despite not having a police report. My passport photo was too large and, well, wasn't really prepared. Yet I'm ahead of the Grouch, the Timmy, and I'm par with the authoritative jerk that wants to be there right at 2:30. Even though he asked to be early, they told him, absolutely not, you can't be here any earlier than 2:30 to pick up your passport. Well, that was the same game I was in, except I took a little bit of a different strategy, so watch this. So it's 11:30. I knew now that I had to wait 3 hours before I could get my passport, but I wanted to play the game. So I decided, you know what? Let's keep this klutz attitude going. So I was outside at this point. I grabbed a bite to eat, came back to the security window. So I literally sat myself on the railing leading up to their security checkpoint. Every person that came up, I tried to somewhat help. I would tell them like, oh, just wait there, and then they'll wave you when they're ready. They have to finish their conversation first. The security people get really mad if you walk right up to the window, so I told people just stand there and wait. And it actually worked, because then the security people would turn around and they do that. It's just great. In addition to that, every security person that was sort of walking around either on a lunch break or coming back or whatever, I wanted to be the nicest, most helpful person ever, so that all of these security people are like, man, I like this Kevin guy. He's cool. And then I think this was my lucky break. One of the guards came out looking for somebody.
Hey man, you looking for Kevin?
Nah, man. Dang, I'm just so close to missing my flight.
Dang man, when's your flight?
Yeah, man, 2:30s.
Hey, you know, in the meantime, you mind if I sweep? I could clean up the floor a little bit.
Nah, that's nice of you, man. I gotta go.
So I stayed sitting there. I felt now I had made a lot of connections with a bunch of different security people that obviously already made connections with the staff inside, that here's this hopeless kid who's just trying to make it on a plane and go back and visit his family. Which, remember, the goal is you want people to empathize with you. If you want people to help you, you can't be a Timmy, because nobody can relate to a Timmy. You can't relate to somebody who's an authoritative person because they're just like rigid, and it's hard to relate to that kind of person. And it's also impossible to relate to somebody who's yelling and screaming at you like a grouch. So really the only person you can relate to is somebody who's just chill and, you know, is relatable. That's somebody that you can actually empathize with. So it was about 1 o'clock now, sitting on the railing. Same security guy comes out that talked to me earlier about looking for a person. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna check on your passport for you. Oh, thank you so much. Anything in me, they're just super thankful. Now, keep in mind, you want to think to yourself, what's going to happen next? The security guy is either going to walk to the back and go, hey, how you guys doing on Kevin Paffrath's passport? Or he's going to call, and he's going to say, yeah, he's sitting outside on the railing, helping people get to the window or directing people. He's sitting on the railing, asking me if he could sweep the leaves. He comes back after 25 minutes. Sorry, Kevin, nothing. So now it's 1:30. I'm sitting there just dying. It's starting to get really sunny outside, which doesn't happen often in Europe apparently, but it happened while I was sitting there. Sorry for any Europeans who took offense to that. I continue on my course, sitting right there, trying to just give the puppy dog face, just, I'm still here. It's all good. No, it's all good, man. You guys take your time.
And then,
At 1:54 p.m.,
Mr. Paffrath, your passport's ready.
that started the adventure. So consider this. I just earned 36 extra minutes of time to get to the airport by being a klutz, a hopeful klutz, and I get my passport. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so hopefully you're able to take away the lesson here of don't be ungrateful, be a nice, hopeless person sometimes, and you'll get a lot further in life than if you try to impose your way or impose your authority or, be mean to people or just be unrelatable because you're just like, oh, I lost my passport, or like, you gotta relate to people if you want to be able to get ahead. And I think this was one heck of a day that I'll always remember as, yep, that's how you do it.